2017 NWAC Championships. This morning's first round matchups will feature the Mount Hood Saints versus the Pierce Raiders on court 1, and the Walla Walla Warriors and the Edmonds Tritons on court 2. All matches at this year's tournament are brought to you by our sponsors, Red Lion Hotels and Inns, Washington State National Guard, Baden Sports, Under Armour, the Tacoma South Sound Sports Commission, and our host, Pierce College. The three core principles of the NWAC are character, competition, and community. The NWAC encourages you as a fan to enjoy the competition, cheer the athletes, and respect those involved. Good sportsmanship is at the core of competition, and the NWAC asks that you refrain from swearing and derogatory remarks directed at the student athletes, officials, and other fans. Failure to adhere to this responsibility will be cause for removal. First match of the day, fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, good morning and welcome to the 2017 Northwest Athletic Conference Volleyball Championship Tournament. Leanne Rhymes here for the national anthem. What a surprise. Always great to have Leanne for the kickoff of the big tournament hosted by Pierce College. And speaking of the host, Pierce College Raiders, they are our first matchup on court 1 this morning. The number 1 seed out of the West, the Raiders will be facing the number 4 seed out of the South. That's the Mount Hood Saints. Mount Hood coming into this matchup with an 8-6 conference record, 18-17 overall, winners of just 2 of the last 10 entering the tournament, facing a tough Pierce Raiders squad, 12-2 in the conference, 32-11 overall. 18-3 since September 7th. 8 of the last 10 wins were sweeps, and 92-38 in the overall set record. So going to be a tough matchup for Mount Hood, but this is the tournament. It's a brand new season. Anything can happen. Both of these teams with some fabulously talented players. As the PA announcer goes through the full rosters, as is always the case, to begin a tournament. Looking at both of these teams, each team with 4 sophomores on their team. For Pierce, that is number 8, Malia Tucker. The captain, number 12, Allie Bauer. Number 17, Mahi Stone. and number 22, Katie Lynn Piles. For Mount Hood, the sophomores are going to be looking for number 2, Ashlyn Huntington, number 3, Hannah Spears, number 6, Michaelin Almberg, and number 13, Elisha Lavasa from Hawaii. So each team pretty evenly matched as far as experience goes with freshmen and sophomores. Teams did not face each other during the regular season, of course, being from different conferences. So each team knows equally about the other. Looking at the coaching staffs, the head coach for Pierce Raiders is Greg Fennell, and Kemi Medlock is the assistant coach. For Mount Hood, Kim Lucina, the head coach, and Christina Crivello is the assistant coach. And I will actually take that back. They did meet, if you go all the way back to September 2nd. The two teams played a best of 3 at Highline, and Pierce lost to Mount Hood 25-15, 25-15. So in the one time the two teams squared off, Mount Hood got the better of Pierce. So Pierce may be looking to exact a little revenge and keep their season going. Had the pleasure of doing some PA announcing for Pierce during the season, so I know they have some fantastic hitters. Pierce led in kills by Riley Burdick with 380. But then when you go past that, you've got Julie Hieronymo with 210, and then 4 players with at least 100. For Mount Hood, they are led by number 15, Madison Pernich, with 166 kills, followed by the sophomore Ashlyn Huntington with 124. Your serving leader for Pierce to watch, number 6, Kenzie Seitz, 41 aces, and her counterpart on Mount Hood, the serving ace specialist, number 9, McKinley Pringle, with 27. The rest of the stats we'll get to as we go. The beginning of a long tournament. Broadcasting from the Tacoma Convention Center. A look at the upcoming matches on this court. At 11:30, we have Chemeketa versus Centralia. At 2 o'clock, Bellevue versus Spokane. And at 4:30, North Idaho versus Shoreline. So if your team is one of the two on this match, you want to scout out the competition, keep it tuned right here. Great volleyball all day. Opening round brackets through 4:30, and then elimination games starting at 6:30 with a second elimination game coming at 8:15. So some of the best volleyball that you can see at the collegiate level, short of D1 right here in the Northwest Athletic Conference. Some fantastic athletes from all over the United States, and looking at the rosters all over the world for that matter. One of the longer parts of the tournament going through the opening rosters. 2 courts, of course, in action here during the NWAC tournament. Over on court 2, you have Edmonds, the number 2 team out of the north, squaring off with Walla Walla, the number 3 team out of the east. So Pierce coming into this one, averaging 10.77 kills per set. Mount Hood at 6.78. Statistically looking, as far as kills, assists, ace, digs, and blocks go, Pierce with the edge. But as we said earlier, Mount Hood with the 1-0 season series advantage over the Raiders. We mentioned that Mount Hood was 2 of their last 10 coming into the tournament. Prior to that, they were 8-3. So a streaky team looking to turn it around, and this is going to be a good test for them. The loser of this match will play this evening at 6:30 versus the loser of the Edmonds Walla Walla match, as the winner will play at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning against the winner of Edmonds versus Walla Walla. The announcements are over. The teams are huddling on their respective sides of the court, and we are minutes away from championship volleyball here at the Tacoma Convention Center. One of the benefits of being able to see the game is I won't have to annoy you with every single time the ball is touched. Keep you up to date on what's happening. Pierce, the team closest to you in the frame, they have the white tops with the maroon striping, black shorts. The team on the opposite side of the net, that is the Mount Hood Saints. They are in the dark uniforms with the red numbers. The R2 is checking the lineups. The libero, Kenzie Seitz, in for Pierce. And the libero, Michaela Almberg, in for Mount Hood. And with both liberos in, that means we are set for action. Katie Lynn Piles is going to be your first server for the Raiders. Number 22. Coach calls the serve. There's the whistle, and we are underway. There's a serve right down the center. Mount Hood with a nice set. They go far outside, and that one's going to go outside of the antenna. So the first point of the tournament is going to go to the Pierce Raiders. They are on top of Mount Hood, 1-0. Caitlin Piles, there's the jump serve. Right back where she put the first one, and that's going to be your ace. The 21st ace of the season for Piles. 2-0 Pierce. The serve. Right back to the same spot a third straight time. There's the set, the dink, and that one's down. That's going to be the point for Mount Hood. Kamiley Lebanon with the point for the Saints. Leah Day serving. Was set by the Raiders. Blocked by Mount Hood. Nice dig in the backcourt by the Saints. They go outside. That one's driven right down. And there's a kill. We're tied at 2. That's actually going to be number 12, Grace Buchanan, the 5'11" freshman out of Forest Grove serving. Picked up by Piles. Outside set. Blocked out of bounds. That kill is going to go to Hannah Burkhart. Pierce with a 1-point lead as Kenzie Seitz comes back, the team leader in aces, to serve. Drives the knuckleball right over the center of the net. Blocked by Pierce, set back up. Ball rolls across the top of the net. Sent over by Piles, and a little miscommunication by Mount Hood, and that one's going to drop right to the sport court. A 2-point Pierce lead, 4-2. Seitz with the serve. Barely over the top of the net. Mount Hood set it up. Blocked by Tucker. And Mount Hood unable to send that one back over. And Pierce is on top, 5-2. Malia Tucker for Pierce, 110 blocks on the year, leads the team. There's the serve from Seitz. Mount Hood, nice tip. Pierce gets it over. Here comes the Saints outside. And we're going to have a double hit violation on Mount Hood. So Pierce is going to pick up their 6th point of the match and take a 4-point lead. Seitz with the serve. Miley Lebanon sets it over. That one goes long. Pierce on top, 7-2. There's the serve. Nice set. They go outside. Riley Burdick with the kill. And Pierce extends their lead to 8-2. So Mount Hood working that outside for Kamiley Bannon, but hasn't had a lot of luck that far. That time it was Malia Tucker with the block, and Pierce with another point. They're on top 9-2, and we're going to have a timeout on the floor, the first timeout. This one called by the Mount Hood Saints. Folks, prepare for an inspired future at Lynn Benton Community College in Albany, Oregon. You get personalized support, small classes, and you save money. Train for a job, get your bachelor's degree started, or check out the degree partnership program with OSU. LBCC, inspired. So probably not the start that Mount Hood was looking for. They trail by 7 at the first time out, 9-2. And if you are looking for a challenge, push yourself further. It begins when you enlist as a soldier in the U.S. Army. You'll be trained in one of more than 150 career fields, and you can even earn...
I'm Danny Horton, and I'm an STCU member. The windstorm of 2015, who doesn't remember that? Had no power, were the heaters, the horse trough was a 600-pound block of ice. STCU stepped up. I went straight down. I got the loan I needed. If it hadn't been for STCU and the ability to provide everything I needed, where would I have been? I'm Danny Horton, and STCU is here for good.
So we're back here at Tacoma Convention Center out of the timeout. Mount Hood gets the block off of the top of the net. They're going to pick up the side out point. It's 9-3, and Michaela Almberg, the libero, set to serve for the Saints as they try and put together their own rally. Here's the serve. Set to the right side. Back row hit. And that one's going to go off Almberg, out of bounds. It's going to be a side-out point for Pierce. And now it's 10-3 as the Raiders' next server, Allie Bauer, gets set. There's the serve. Nice dig out of the back row by Almberg. There's the tip. Doesn't clear the net. And the Raider lead is now 8. Allie Bauer's serve. Set up at the net. Quick set. There's the tip. Picked up by Pierce. They go right side. Nice block by Pierce. Mount Hood looked like they were going to dig it for a second. They were unable to. And that's going to go out of the back court. And that's going to be another point for Pierce. It is 12-3. The championship tournament games, best 3 out of 5. The elimination bracket here at Tacoma, best 2 out of 3. Nice free ball by Mount Hood. There's the set. Blocked by the Saints. They're able to control it. They go back row hit. Picked up by Bauer. They go across court looking for Burkhart. There's the tip. Raiders keep it alive. Another nice block by the Saints. So a good rally was going there for Mount Hood. Lost communication there at the end, and that's going to be a point for the Raiders as Bauer puts the ball in play. That one's going to go out of bounds by Mount Hood, and Pierce is going to be on top now 14-3. The biggest lead of the set, obviously, 11 points. That one crawls across the top of the net. A nice hit there from Kamiley Lebanon. And it's going to be a side-out point for the Saints. Pierce answers right back with the quick tip. Substitution for Pierce as Julia Hieronyma enters the match. Riley Burdick now set to serve, 15-4, the lead for Pierce. Nice play by the Saints, picked up by the Raiders. Allie Bauer tries to get it back to Burdick, unable to. That's going to be a point for Mount Hood as Hannah Spears is your server, 15-5. Spears with the serve, right down the center. Picked up by Seitz. Hieronyma. On the left side, Mariah Sonato on the right side, and Sonato with the kill. Point Pierce. Malia Tucker going to be your server at 16-5. Tucker with the serve. 11-point Raider lead. Nice rip right down the line. Madison Pernich with the kill. The side out point for Mount Hood. And Pernich with the serve. There's Anna Burkhart with the kill off of the Mount Hood block. 17-6 the score. Carly Sunt now set to serve for Pierce. Moves to the right side. Right down central. Mount Hood's attempt to play it goes back over the net. Driven to the ground by Burkhart. Another point for the Raiders. It is 18-6. These sets are raced to 25. Must win by 2. Carly Sunt with the serve. Mount Hood returns. Outside set. Looking for Hieronyma. Hieronyma with the kill. And it's going to be a 19-6 lead for the Raiders. Pierce on a roll. That serve into the net by Carly Sunt. Side out point for the Saints. It's 19-7. And we're going to have a substitution as Kamiley Lebanon back into the game for the Saints. A little tough picking up the numbers on those Mount Hood uniforms. That serve was by Elisha Lavasa. Mount Hood goes outside looking for the set. Pierce picks it up. They go to Hieronyma. Hieronyma with the kill. And it is a 20-7. Pierce with the side out point. Katie Lynn Piles back in the game for the Raiders. Set to serve. Katie Lynn Piles with the 21 now aces on the year. There's the jump serve. Right over the top of the net. Nicely played by the Saints. Back row hit. Will be a free ball coming from the Raiders. They get it over the net. Here comes Mount Hood on the attack. They go right side, blocked by Pierce. Somehow they keep it alive, and they get that ball to Hannah Burkhart for the kill, and it's 21-7. Pierce on top. Katie Lynn Piles, that jump serve, there it is. Center court. There's the tip from Mount Hood. Mount Hood keeps it alive. Another tip. Free ball from Pierce. They go right side. Here's the hit. One line judge is saying out, one line judge is saying in, and they're going to go with the line judge that said it was out. So that's going to be a point for the Raiders, 22-7. Again to the right side. Pierce able to play it. Blocked by Mount Hood. Kept alive by the Raiders. Dumped over the net. There's a set in the middle. Played out the backcourt, but it falls to the ground. Side out point, Mount Hood. 22-8. 14-point lead for Pierce. 3 to go in the first set. There's going to be an ace for the Saints. 22-9. Grace Buchanan. 2 sets up, 2 service aces on the year coming into today. Picks up one right there. Left side attack for Pierce. Ball tipped back over the net by Allie Bauer. Side out point for the Raiders. Malia Tucker back in the game, 23-9, as Kenzie Seitz is now set to serve. Quick set looking for Tucker. Tucker drives it down. That's going to be a kill. And 24-9, it is set point for Pierce here in the opening set. Seitz with the serve. Now Hood looking to get it back over the net. They do. That kill attempt is going to be long. It's going to be a side-out point for the Saints. And Michaelan Almberg, their libero, is now set to serve. Still set point, 24-10. Here's your score. They go cross court, do the Raiders. That one's going to go off of the R1 stand. That's going to be a point for Pierce, and Pierce is going to take this opening set by a score of 25-10. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with set number 2 after these words from our sponsors.
Nestled within tall trees and beautiful buildings, Pierce College has established itself as a national leader in improving student success. With 2 main campuses in Puyallup and Fort Steilacoom, and satellite campuses on Joint Base Lewis-McChord, Pierce College strives to create quality educational opportunities to help students realize their possibilities. As we celebrate 50 years in the community, Pierce College is proud to offer more than 60 programs of study with a fit for you, your life, your schedule, and your dream. Find your path, start at Pierce College today, and realize your possibilities. Visit pierce.ctc.edu.
Convention Center fans, we are neighbors, helping neighbors through a tradition of service with more than 6,000 citizen soldiers, which comprise our ranks throughout Washington State. Guardsmen faithfully safeguard lives and property at home and abroad. National Guard soldiers and readiness centers are an integral part of Washington State's communities and will continue to be for generations to come. To learn more about the Washington National Guard, visit nationalguard.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD. And we're back. Tacoma Convention Center heading into set number 2 between the Pierce Raiders and the Mount Hood Saints. Pierce winners of the first set, 25-10. The team switched sides. We now have the Mount Hood Saints in their dark uniforms on the near side. The Pierce Raiders in their white tops with the maroon numbers on the far side. The R2 sending Pierce libero Kenzie Seitz in. McKinley Pringle, the Mount Hood libero, now in, and we are set to go. First serve for set number 2 is going to come from the Mount Hood Saints. Nice to have Mount Hood on this side, easier to see their numbers. Black and red, one of the tougher combinations. Your first serve for Mount Hood coming from Elisha Lavasa, sitting on the right side. Pierce head coach Greg Fennell talking to the R2. Thanking the officials, I'm sure, for jobs well done. All of these tournaments. So many officials, so many moving parts to put these tournaments together. As Mount Hood goes to the right side, there's the kill attempt from Kamiley Lebanon into the net. It's going to be a side-out point for Pierce. And Kenzie Seitz set to serve for the Raiders on top 1-0. Here's the serve. Goes left side. Picked up out of the back row. Dumped back over by Mount Hood. Pierce goes right side. That ball's going to be driven out of bounds. That's going to be a side-out point for Mount Hood. We are tied at 1. Grace Buchanan, the freshman from Forest Grove, serving for the Saints. Unable to clear the net. Side-out point for Pierce. Substitution is Mariah Sonato, the 6'1" freshman from Tacoma, enters the game for the Raiders. Allie Bauer serves. Mount Hood unable to return that, and Bauer's going to pick up another ace and a 2-point lead for Pierce at 3-1. Bauer with the serve. Dug out of the back row. Nice tip from Mount Hood as Shelby Martin puts it down. Side out point Mount Hood, 3-2, the Pierce lead. Shelby Martin, the 6-foot freshman out of Oregon City, Oregon. The serve from McKinley Pringle. Ripped to the court by Mariah Sonato with the kill. Mariah Sonato, 196 kills during the regular season for the Raiders. A 4-2 Pierce lead. Riley Burdick serving. Dug by Hannah Spears. That one through the Raider blockers. That's going to be a kill for Madison Pernich. Side out point Mount Hood, 4-3 the score, as McKaylin Almberg now serving for the Mount Hood Saints. Raiders come right down the center. That one's going to find the ground as well. It's going to be a side-out point. Teams now trading side-out points. Malia Tucker serving for Pierce. 5-3 the score. Raiders on top. Played by Spears. Nice tip that time by Elisha Lavasa. Side-out point for Mount Hood. 5-4 the score. Hannah Spears, the sophomore out of St. Helens, Oregon, now serving for the Saints. Jump serve. Back row center. Picked up by the Raiders. Driven to the ground again. Another kill for Mariah Sonato. 6-4. Side out point. Pierce. Carly Sunt entering the game for the Raiders. She is serving. That one played by Pringle. Hit by Buchanan. Played back by the Raiders. Pringle again. They go to Buchanan one more time. That one's going to be down. Picked up by the back row of Pierce. Again looking for Buchanan. That one's going to be out. Again, we have one official saying, one line judge saying in, one line judge saying out. They go with the closest line judge. That one's going to be out. Side out point, or a regular point for Pierce. It is 7-4. Sunt with another serve. Quick tip. That one, smart play. Good idea by Elisha Lavasa. And there's your side out point for Mount Hood. It is 7-5 as Madison Pernich is set to serve for the Saints. Played into the back row. Nice serve. Pierce off of the Mount Hood blockers. Lands inbounds, and that's going to be a side out point for Pierce. Katie Lynn Piles enters the game to serve for the Raiders. It is 8-5. Pierce with a 3-point lead. Here's the serve from Piles. She has got a quick serve. The return attempt by Mount Hood's going to find the antenna. That's going to be a point for the Raiders. It's a 9-5 lead. as we get a substitution for Mount Hood. They're going to bring in the 5'7" sophomore from Eli, Nevada, number 2, Ashlyn Huntington. Defensive substitution. 4-point Pierce lead. Here's the serve from Piles. We go back row center on the attack. Pierce to the right side. Nicely played by Mount Hood. Blocked up front. Nice block by Mount Hood. They're going to pick up a side out point on that one. It's going to be 9-6 as Kamiley Lebanon enters the game for the Saints. Elisha Lavasa, the server, sophomore from Hawaii. We're going to have a net violation called on Pierce, and that's going to be another point for Mount Hood. It is a 9-7 lead. The Pierce lead at just 2. Pierce with the quick set. Mount Hood picks it up. Mount Hood now looking to attack. Instead, they dump it over the net. Free ball for Pierce. Here they come right side. Driven to the ground, picked up by Mount Hood. A nice diving attempt into the scorer's table by Kamiley Lebanon. But unfortunately, that one's going to be a point for Pierce as far as Mount Hood goes. If you're a Pierce fan, you'd say fortunately that's a point. It's 10-7 Pierce. Kenzie Seitz serves. There's the tip. Nicely dug by Pierce. There's a dump by the Raiders. They're going to go to the left side are the Saints. And that one's going to be picked up by the Raiders. So good defensive play by both of these teams as they go with the back set, the tip. Raiders with the kill attempt down the line. Saints punch it back over the net. Raiders keep it alive. What a rally we have going on this time. That block's going to go out of bounds. And that's going to be a point for Mount Hood. So the Saints pick up the side out point. Ashlyn Huntington, the server. Saints looking for a rally. 10-8 the score. That one's going to go in the net. Side out point, Pierce. Julia Hieronima enters the game for the Raiders. 11-8 the score. Pierce on top. Allie Bauer, the captain of the Pierce squad, serving. Saints on the attack, blocked off the antenna. That's going to be a side out point for Mount Hood. 11-9. McKinley Pringle serving. Coach gives the sign for the serve. Rip down the line. Tucker with the set. Mount Hood with the attempt by Kamiley Lebanon, out of bounds, side out point for Mount Hood, for Pierce rather. Julia Hieronima in the game now for the Raiders. Riley Burdick serving, 12-9. The Raider lead. Mount Hood gets the kill that time for Madison Pernich between two Pierce blockers. 12-10 the score. McKaylin Almberg serving. Jump serve into the net. Side out point Pierce, 13-10. Across the halfway point here in set number 2. Pierce with the 1-0 set lead. Malia Tucker with the serve. Picked up out of the back row by Spears. Sent back over. Back row attack by Burdick. Picked up by the Saints. Both teams showing off their defensive abilities now. Back row hitting as well. There's the kill attempt off the Pierce blockers. Another kill for Pernich. Hannah Spears serving for Mount Hood. 2-point is the lead again. 13-11 for the Raiders. Back set off the antenna. Point Mount Hood, 13-12. Spears with the serve. Picked up out of the back row. They go for the attack. The tip instead. And that one's going to go into the net. And there Pierce is going to pick up a side-out point. It's going to be a 14-12 score. We're going to have a substitution for Pierce. The 5'6" freshman out of Puyallup, number 16, Carly Sunt, returns to the game, and she serves. Quick tip from Mount Hood that time. Nice play by Elisha Lavasa. Side out point for Mount Hood. 14-13, Madison Pernich. Somehow Pierce keeps that one alive. Their second attempt, however, goes out of bounds, and that's going to be a point for the Saints. 14-14, Pernich, the offensive player of the week for the NWAC the first week of the season. Tie score. Quick set, block up front. That block coming from Julia Hieronyma and Hannah Burkhart. Side out point for the Raiders. And it's a 15-14 score. And we're going to have a timeout on the court. Vans Clark College in Vancouver, Washington is enrolling for the winter quarter. Whether you want to advance your career, complete a degree, or earn your high school diploma, Clark College can help you reach your goals. Visit clark.edu to learn more.
Medical specialists in the Guard are skilled in CPR, field triage, and emergency life support. Medics stabilize and evac the wounded during combat, come to the aid of civilians in a disaster, and provide day-to-day outpatient care. Medical specialists are saving lives on and off the battlefield.
Celebrating 50 years of possibilities realized, Pierce College is here to guide you to student success. With more than 60 programs of study at Pierce College, there's a fit for you, your life, and your schedule, including short-term certificate programs, transfer degrees, and even baccalaureate degrees. Pierce provides flexible degree options to help you on your path. Your pathway is clear at Pierce College. And we are back. Coming out of the timeout, Pierce on top in set 2, 15-14. Leading 1-0. A substitution by the Raiders. Katie Lynn Piles now in the match, serving for Pierce. The Mount Hood defense set. Here comes the jump serve. Back row center. Played by Spears. They go cross court looking for Buchanan. Mount Hood picks it up off the block, puts it to the ground, and that's going to be a side out point for Mount Hood. We're tied at 15. Kamali Lebanon in the game now for Mount Hood. Elisha Lavasa the server. I misspoke. That right side hitter is Ashlyn Huntington. Block up front by Shelby Martin. Pierce tries to play it. That goes outside of the antenna. We're going to have a Mount Hood lead. On the point, the Saints up by 1, 16-15. There's the serve from Lavasa. Pierce unable to return it. 15-17. They trail. 2-point lead for Mount Hood. Saints on a roll. 8 to go. There's the serve from Lavasa. Blocked by Mount Hood. Nice block up front by Shelby Martin. Another point for the Saints. They are on top 18-15. 3 points. The Mount Hood lead. There's the call from the coach on the serve. I don't think she called for it to go in the net, but that's where it went. Side out point for Pierce. Pierce down by 2 as Kinsey Seitz gets set to serve. Mount Hood like nothing more than to pick up a side out point. Quick set. They're going to call for the double hit on Mount Hood, and that's going to be another point for Pierce, and it's a 1-point Saints lead at 18-17. Serve from Seitz, played by Spears. Up front, over to the top of the Pierce blockers. Nice pickup that time from Pringle. They go to the other side looking for Huntington. Huntington sends it over. Pierce picks it up. Free ball. Back set. Sent over the net by Martin. Here comes the attack from Pierce, blocked by Mount Hood. Another attempt blocked. Great defensive network by Lebanon and Shelby Martin. And there's going to be your side-out point for Mount Hood. Mount Hood on top, 19-17, as Ashlyn Huntington gets set to serve. Jump serve. Picked up by Pierce. Nicely played by Huntington. Sent over by Pringle. Back set by Pierce, looking for Tucker. Blocked out of bounds. That's going to be a side-out point for Pierce. So another kill for Malia Tucker. And we're going to have a substitution for Pierce as Mariah Sonato enters the game. Allie Bauer serving. It's a 1-point Saints lead at 19-18. So we're going to have the R2 go over to confer with the R1. A rotation violation call on Mount Hood, then a rotation violation call on Pierce. And we're going to see who the actual rotation violation was on. And now we're going to get some clarification for Kim Lucena, the Mount Hood coach, as it is going to be the Saints with the violation. We're going to have a tie score, 19-19. Look like a Oprah. Rotation violation for you, and you, and you. Everybody gets one. The captain of the Saints, Elisha Lavasa, goes over to confer with the R1. Now we're set for volleyball. Allie Bauer with the serve. Ripped by Kamiley Lebanon off of the Pierce blocker, out of bounds. Side out point for Mount Hood. McKinley Pringle serving, 20-19 the score. That serve into the net. So Mount Hood with a little bit of service errors. Not what you want to see, especially in a tight match like this. Side out point for Pierce, 20-20. Riley Burdick serving. Most of Pierce's serves coming right down the center. That one tipped over by Lebanon. Played out of the back row by Mount Hood. Pierce unable to do anything with that one. Now it's going to be a side out point for Mount Hood. 21-20, Saints with the lead. McKaylin Allenberg in now to serve. Double block up front by Mount Hood. There's the tip by Spears. Pierce with the back row hit. Played by Pringle. They played it for Pernich, but she's unable to clear the top of the net. And that's going to be a side out point for Pierce. Tied once again, this time at 21. Malia Tucker now serving. Again played for Pernich. She tips it over. Pierce unable to pick it up off the floor. Side out point, Saints, 22-21. Remember, you must win by 2. It is a race to 25. Hannah Spears with the serve. Burdick with the play out of the back row, looking for Sonato. Sonato, her drive picked up by Allenberg. Blocked by Pierce. And there's the putback by Mariah Sonato. Side out point Pierce, 22-all. Carly Sunt back in the game for Pierce serving. Mount Hood goes left side. There's the drive played by Pierce. Dumped over by the Raiders. Picked up out of the back row by Mount Hood. Again with the left side attack. Quick set. Double hit violation on the Raiders. Mount Hood side out point. 23-22 is the Mount Hood lead. Madison, Pernich with the serve. Back row center. Back set. Raiders unable to clear. Point, Mount Hood. In fact, set point, Mount Hood, 24-22, timeout on the floor.
When it's your job to protect the world's greatest nation, it's your responsibility to solve the world's greatest challenges. This is why we search for the best and brightest, why we train for every eventuality, on land and water, in the air, space, and even cyberspace. We operate in a complex world with one simple mission: win.
I'm Danny Horton, and I'm an STCU member. The windstorm of 2015, who doesn't remember that? It had no power where the heaters, the horse trough was a 600-pound block of ice. STCU stepped up. I went straight down. I got the loan I needed. If it hadn't been for STCU and the ability to provide everything I needed, where would I have been? I'm Danny Horton, and STCU is here for good.
And we're back, Tacoma Convention Center, NWAC 2017 Championship Volleyball Tournament. Set number 2, Mount Hood at set point. Madison Pernich set to serve. 24-22 the score. Saints looking to even this matchup at one set apiece. Pierce with the attack, picked up by Mount Hood. Left side hit into the net. And we're going to have a side out point for the Raiders. 23-24, they trail by 1 as Katie Lynn Piles comes in to serve with that running jump serve. Still set point for Mount Hood. There's the serve, picked up out of the back row by right side attack by Pierce. Blocked, stays in bounds, and that's going to be point Mount Hood, and they're going to win the second set. Final score, Saints 25, Pierce 23. We are even at one set apiece here in our first round, first match of the day matchup.
LCC has definitely prepared me to transfer to Oregon State because it's helped me with my study skills. I'm a much harder worker than I was in high school.
I had a great support base by the staff, and I've made some great friends that I think I'll carry on with my life.
I've definitely loved my classes. I've learned a lot. It's been a healthy environment.
Don't be afraid to branch out. The people here are awesome. I'm going to be in it for a while, but down the road I'll be finishing up and be ready to join the workforce.
I'm Deborah Jackson. I work at STCU. During the windstorm of 2015, we were expecting that members would need any number of things. I was talking with a colleague. It popped into my head that why can't we do something to help offset that cost for our members and our community? So that day we came up with the Get It Fixed loan. Everyone was on board with it. It was done that day. Being part of this community and involved and invested as we are, when we see a need like that, we take the action. I'm Deborah Jackson, and STCU is here for good.
The first day of school is kind of scary. You don't know your teachers yet or who your friends will be. But school is really important. It's how you learn things and grow.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna do great, Mommy.
For you. For them. Clark College. Get started today at clark.edu.
And we're back, Tacoma Convention Center. Mount Hood versus the Pierce Raiders. First matchup of the day. Fans, if you want to prepare for an inspired future at Lynn Benton Community College in Albany, Oregon, you get personalized support, small classes, and you save money. Train for a job, get your bachelor's degree started, or check out the degree partnership program with OSU. LBCC Inspired. And if you're looking for a challenge, you want to push yourself further, it begins when you enlist as a soldier in the U.S. Army. You'll be trained in one of more than 150 career fields. You can even earn money for college if you qualify. To find out more, visit your local Army recruiter or log on to goarmy.com. A big hello to all of the viewers from the Oregon area rooting for your Mount Hood Saints. A monster comeback in set number 2. After trailing and losing the first set 25-10, they come back to win the second set 25-23, even at 1. Here we go for set number 3. Pierce with the opening serve. Katie Lynn Pyle is going to be the server. There's that running jump serve over the top of the net. Sinker ball serve. Attempt to return by Mount Hood is unsuccessful. And Pierce is going to have the first point of set number 3, a 1-0 Raider lead. That serve into the net. Side out point Mount Hood. Tied at 1. Ashlyn Huntington. Serving for Mount Hood. There's her jump serve. Quick set by Pierce. Nicely played by Mount Hood. Dumped back over by the Saints. Back set by the Raiders. Kill by Hannah Burkhart. Side out point Pierce. It's 2-1. Raiders on top. Kenzie Seitz, freshman. Warden, Montana. 5'4", her serve. Play back by Pierce, out of bounds. Saved, however. Dumped back over by Seitz into the net. Her attempt, and that's going to be a point for Mount Hood. We're tied at 2. McKinley Pregnall from Nevada. Pregnall, her serve. Played back by Pierce. Picked up out of the back row. They go left side with their attack. That one's going to be tipped. And a point for Mount Hood as the Saints go on top 3-2. As we talked about in the pregame, Pierce on a fantastic season, the number 1 seed out of the West, swept by Mount Hood. The only time these two teams met earlier in the year, and having trouble with the Saints now. They go right side for Tucker. Line judge calling for a tip. That'll be a side out point for Pierce. Mariah Sonato enters the game. A game tied at 3. The Mount Hood coaching staff want to know who tipped that. Apparently they get it cleared up. The R1 calls for play to resume. Here's the serve from Allie Bauer. Back set by Mount Hood. Their attack out of bounds. Pierce with a 4-3 lead. That attack picked up by Katie Lynn Piles, but driven over the R2 position, out of bounds. Side out point for Mount Hood. 4-4 is going to be your tie score. Michaela Almberg from Nevada. Her jump serve, played by Seitz towards the stands, back to the center. Tucker unable to reach it. That one's going to hit the ground. We're going to have a point for Mount Hood and a Saints lead at 5-4. Nice serve, diving dig by Seitz. Again, the Pierce attack unable to clear the net. Another point for Mount Hood, and it's a 2-point Saints lead, 6-4. So the Saints momentum continues. Again, that serve attempt out of bounds by the Raiders. They're able to get it back on the court and free ball over, but a quick tip by Mount Hood, and it's a 3-point lead for the Saints, 7-4. Defensive substitution for Pierce as Julia Hieronyma enters the game. The 5'9" freshman from Graham plays the ball off the serve. Left side attack by Pierce. Picked up out of the back row by the Saints. Pregnell gets it over, played by Seitz. Back set. Looking for Sonato. Tip by Mount Hood. Returned by Pierce. Nice rally by both these teams. Left side. That one dug by Hieronyma. Left side attack out of bounds. They're going to say it's tipped at the net. And that'll be a side out point for Pierce. And a 2-point Mount Hood lead at 7-5. Riley Burdick with the serve. Quick tip by Mount Hood. Picked up by Pierce. Nice defensive play by the Raiders. Back row attack. Blocked by Tucker. Mount Hood keeps it alive. They go left side. That one tipped by a couple of Raiders. But there's the back row hit by Burdick. And we're going to have a 4 hits by Pierce on that attack. And that's going to be a side out point for Mount Hood. A 3-point Saints lead. Hannah Spears now serving. Goes after Hieronyma on the serve. Back set looking for Tucker. Picked up out of the back row by the Saints. Left side attack by Mount Hood. Blocked out of bounds. And that'll be another point for the Saints. It is now a 4-point Mount Hood lead at 9-5. So Mount Hood definitely awake after that first set loss. That hit out of bounds by Hieronyma. A 5-point lead now by Mount Hood, 10-5. Timeout on the floor called by Greg Fennell.
The Guard has over 50,000 wheeled vehicles in action. The vast fleet of Humvees, troop transports, and fuel tank trucks are always moving soldiers, gear, and equipment around the world, or delivering aid to civilians during domestic emergencies. Transport operators are essential in getting the Guard to where it needs to be.
I'm Deborah Jackson. I work at STCU. During the windstorm of 2015, we were expecting that members would need any number of things. I was talking with a colleague. It popped into my head that why can't we do something to help offset that cost for our members and our community? So that day we came up with the Get It Fixed loan. Everyone was on board with it. It was done that day. Being part of this community and involved and invested as we are, when we see a need like that, we take the action. I'm Deborah Jackson, and STCU is here for good.
And we are back live at the Tacoma Convention Center. Set number 3 between the West number 1 seed Pierce Raiders and the South number 4 seed Mount Hood Saints. Mount Hood looking anything but a number 4 seed right now. Tied 1 set apiece. They have a 10-5 lead here in set number 3 coming out of the timeout. Hannah Spears still serving. The Pierce defense set. Here comes the serve. Picked up by Seitz out of the back row. Bauer with the set. Mount Hood defense picks it up. There's the kill attempt. Blocked by Pierce, but unable to do anything other than that. And that's going to be another point for the Saints. 11-5. A 6-point Mount Hood lead at this point. There's the serve. Out of bounds into the R1 stand. Pierce able to keep it alive. Burdick dumps it back over. They go left side, do the Saints. Blocked, but it's picked up by Mount Hood. So the Mount Hood defense looking just as sharp as their attacks right now. There's the back set from Pierce. Blocked by Mount Hood, but a little bit too much on that strike from Mariah Sonato, and that's going to be a side-out point for Pierce. Pierce now trailing by 5, 11-6. Malia Tucker set for the serve. Here come the Saints from the left side, blocked out of bounds, side out point, back to Mount Hood. Shelby Martin back in the game now for Mount Hood. Nicely played out of the back row by the Saints. Again, they like that left side. That one killed by Hannah Burkhart. Side out point going to go to the Raiders. It is a 12-7 Mount Hood lead as Carly Sunt enters the game to serve for Pierce. Sunt with the serve. Back set by Mount Hood. Nicely killed. That one coming from Shelby Martin. Shelby Martin with 38 kills during the regular season. Side out point for Mount Hood. A 6-point Saints lead. There's a serve for Mount Hood, 13-7. That one smacked down by Hannah Burkhart. Side out point for the Raiders, a 5-point Mount Hood lead, 13-8. Katie Lynn Piles now in the game to serve for the Raiders. There's a signal from the R1. That jump serve hitting the back row, picked up by Mount Hood. They go with the quick set, blocked by Pierce. That one driven into the back row by Riley Burdick. Point Pierce. 13-9. Mount Hood in the lead. The serve. Played by Pregnell. Back row hit blocked by Mount Hood. Another attempt. Pierce unable to get that one over the net, and that's going to be a side out point on the fourth hit for the Saints. Ashlyn Huntington serving, a 5-point lead. 14-9 the score. Huntington with the serve. Blocked! What a block that time by Hannah Spears. All 5'8" of her getting her up to put that one down. And a 6-point lead now for Mount Hood at 15-9. Timeout on the floor.
The first day of school is kind of scary. You don't know your teachers yet or who your friends will be. But school is really important. It's how you learn things and grow.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna do great, Mommy.
For you, for them, Clark College. Get started today at clark.edu.
Hey folks, prepare for an inspired future at Lynn Benton Community College in Albany, Oregon. You get personalized support, small classes, and you save money. Train for a job, get your bachelor's degree started, or check out the degree partnership program with OSU. LBCC inspired. So still a couple of moments during the timeout. Mount Hood on top here in set number 3, 15-9. The Saints and the Raiders even at one set apiece. There's the buzzer coming out of the timeout. Mount Hood with the service. Ashlyn Huntington set to serve. Seeing some monster net defense by this Mount Hood Saints team. Really the answer for the attack by Pierce. A lethal attack for the season. Number 1 seed out of the West, number 4 seed out of the South. And it looks like there's some communication going on between the head coach of Pierce and the R2. There's the signal from the R2. Fennell gets his answer. Here's a serve from Mount Hood. Ball played on top of the net. Comes back to the Pierce side, and they're not able to send it back over. Point Mount Hood, 19-6. The Saints up by 7. Nice serve from Huntington. Burdick sends it over. There's the quick set. That one out of bounds, and that's going to be a side-out point for Pierce. The lead now 6 for Mount Hood, 16-10. Kinsey Seitz serving. Somehow Mount Hood able to keep that one alive after a slight misplay. Tucker with the tip. That one falls. That's going to be a point for the Raiders. 16-11 the score. Kinsey Seitz with the serve. Played way out of the back. Somehow Mount Hood gets it back, and they're going to get a point off of that. That one went almost completely off of the sport court of free ball, and wow. Somehow they're going to pick up that side-out point, and they're going to have a 6-point lead at 17-11, and that bench is energized. McKinley Pregno with the serve. There's the set to the left side. Mount Hood looking for the attack now. Quick set. Now Pierce, the set for Tucker. Played out of the back row by the Saints. There's the attack on the left side from Pierce. That one driven to the ground by Mount Hood. Madison Pernich with the kill. 18-11. The score now for Mount Hood. 7-point lead with 7 to go for the Saints. Pregno with the serve. There's the attack from Pierce, picked up. Mount Hood sends it back over. Nicely done by the Raiders. Mount Hood sends it back over from the back row. Quick tip from Pierce. No problem from Mount Hood. Both teams in a rhythm now. Right side block from Mount Hood, and that one's going to go down a point for Mount Hood. (19-11), 8-point lead. A 180 from what we saw in the first set. There's the attack. That one hits the net. Goes down on the opposite side. Not much Mount Hood could do with that one. Side out point for Pierce. And the captain, Allie Bauer. 5'6" sophomore from Puyallup. Serving down by 7. There's the quick tip, but it's out of bounds. And that'll be another point for Pierce. As they got to be hoping to rattle off a couple of points here. They definitely don't want to go down 2-1. Mount Hood playing so tough right now. Free ball from the Saints. They go right side attack for Pierce. Picked up out of the back row by Mount Hood. Nice rip by Saints. Played by Pierce. And Pierce with the dump. Hit out of bounds by the Mount Hood back row. That's a point for the Raiders. It's a 5-point lead. 19-14. Mount Hood on top. Some good volleyball being played by both of these teams, and I was just about to say with the exception of some service errors, and there's one right there. Side out point for Mount Hood. Saints on top, 20-14. 5 points to go for Mount Hood. There's a serve, top of the net. Right side attack by Pierce. Quick set picked up by the Raiders backcourt. They go left side attack. Nicely played by Mount Hood. We're going to have a net violation called on Mount Hood. That'll be a side out point for the Raiders. And Julia Hieronyma enters the game for Pierce. Pierce trailing by 5, 20-15 here in set number 3. Tied at 1 set apiece. The serve from Riley Burdick. Back set by Mount Hood. Unable to complete the attack. Point Pierce, 20-16. Raiders creeping back into it. Riley Burdick with the serve. Quick set blocked by Hieronyma. Dump back over by Mount Hood. Right side attack from Pierce. There's the kill. That kill by Mariah Sonato. Another point for the Raiders. It's 20-17. So a little shift in momentum. Mount Hood like to see a side out point here. Blocked up front by Tucker and Sonato. Point Raiders, 20-18 is the score. Burdick, the serve. An 8-point lead is now just 2. There's the kill. That time from Hannah Spears for Mount Hood. Side out point Saints. 21-18 the score. And Spears is going to be the server. 4 to go with a 3-point lead for Mount Hood. A little mini timeout on the floor as Pierce head coach Greg Fennell gets a towel for Julia Hieronyma. Appeared to be a little blood there. Now we're set to go. Hannah Spears with the serve. Played out of the back row by Seitz, looking for Hieronyma. Back row play by Pregnell for Mount Hood. There comes the back set. And that one's out of bounds. Again, we have conflicting calls by the line judges. One says out, one says in. The R1 says out. So that will be a point for Mount Hood. 22-18. 4-point lead for the Saints. Sights for Hieronyma. Easy play for the Mount Hood defense. Back set for Pierce. Played out of bounds. Side out point for the Raiders. 22-19. Malia Tucker now set to serve. There's the quick set, driven into the ground. That kill coming from Elisha Lavasa. 23-19 the score. Madison Pernich serving. Hieronyma plays it. Attack by Pierce, picked up by Mount Hood. Nicely played to the net that time by Lavasa. That's going to be a point for Mount Hood. And it's going to be set point. Saints 24-19. Pernich with the serve. Again, they go after Hieronyma. Set for Sonato. Picked up by the Saints defense. Back row hit. Sight saves that one. Battle at the net. Sights again saves it. Bauer sends it over. Here comes Mount Hood. Left side attack. Blocked out of bounds, and that's going to be a point Mount Hood, and they're going to pick up this third set. Final score, Mount Hood 25, Pierce 19. The Saints are going to take a 2-1 set advantage, and we'll be back to the Tacoma Convention Center right after these words.
The challenges facing the country never stop. So neither does the U.S. Army. We train, adapt, and get smarter. Every soldier, every unit, every day. Not to keep up with change, but to drive it. Nobody knows what problems tomorrow will bring, but we do know who will solve them.
Fans, prepare for an inspired future at Lynn Benton Community College in Albany, Oregon. You get personalized support, small classes, and you save money. Train for a job, get your bachelor's degree started, or check out the degree program with OSU. LBCC Inspired. Fans, be sure to check out the NWAC on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all of the latest NWAC news. Also visit nwacsports.org for the most recent information on schedules, scores, stats, and more. And I will tell you that the NWAC crew does a fantastic job keeping the website updated during these tournaments. They like to keep that bracket fresh and keep you up to date on what's happening. And we'll be right back after these words from one of our important sponsors.
I'm Danny Horton, and I'm an STCU member. The windstorm of 2015, who doesn't remember that? Had no power where the heaters, the horse trough was a 600-pound block of ice. STCU stepped up. I went straight down. I got the loan I needed. If it hadn't been for STCU and the ability to provide everything I needed, where would I have been? I'm Danny Horton, and STCU is here for good.
Fans, celebrating 50 years of possibility realized, Pierce College is here to guide you to student success. With more than 60 programs of study at Pierce College, there's a fit for you, your life, and your schedule, including short-term certificate programs, transfer degrees, and our baccalaureate degrees. Pierce provides flexible degree options to help you on your path. Your pathway is clear at Pierce College. And we're back. Tacoma Convention Center. Pierce Raiders, Mount Hood Saints, the beginning of set number 4. Mount Hood on top, 2-1. Here comes the serve from Elisha Lavasa. Right side attack for Pierce. That one down, and it's going to be a side-out point for the Raiders. Raiders on top, 1-0. Kenzie Seitz serving for Pierce. Left side attack, hit out of the back row by Hannah Spears into the net, however, and that's going to be a second point for Pierce. Raiders on top, 2-0. Again, they go left side. That one driven down by Huntington, played by Pierce. Mount Hood keeps it alive. Left side attack by the Raiders. That kill from Julia Hieronyma, and that's going to be a third point for Pierce. Raiders on top, 3-0. The match over on court number 2, a 3-0 sweep. The winner of this match will play the winner of that match, and we'll see who that was for you as soon as we can. That one killed by Ashlyn Huntington, side out point to Mount Hood, and Huntington will come back and be your server, 3-1. Huntington with the serve, picked up out of the back row by Burdick. Left side attack, tip from Tucker. Nice block by Mount Hood. They pick up the point, 1 point Pierce lead, 3-2. Huntington with the serve. Huntington with the ace. And that'll tie us up at 3. There's the serve from Huntington. That one into the net. We've seen a few of those from both of these teams. Side out point Pierce. Mariah Sonato enters the game for the Raiders. Allie Bauer set to serve. quick update what got us here. The first set went to Pierce, 25-10. And then Mount Hood wins the next two sets, 25-23, 25-19. As Pierce picks up the point there, and they go on top 5-3. The serve from Bauer, played by Pregnell. They go left side. Attack by Hannah Spears with the kill. That'll be a side-out point for Mount Hood, 5-4, as McKinley Pregnell gets set to serve. Pregnell with the serve. She goes right side with her service attack. Pierce unable to return it, and we're going to have a 5-5 tie. Here comes next serve. That one's going to go out of bounds, and we're going to have a side-out point. That side-out point for Pierce. It is 6-5 as the DJ starts playing music, and I got a tough time thinking we're going to have music for the rest of this match. Katie Lynn Piles with the serve. That would be something new at the NWAC. Usually they won't play music unless both courts are at a timeout. There's a set from Mount Hood. Picked up by the Pierce back row. Sonato sends it over. Played by Huntington. Pernich with the attack. Played by the Pierce defense. They keep it alive. Get it back over. Now a battle at the net. Played by Seitz out of the back row. Here comes the attack from Pierce. And the re-attack driven into the net. Side out point for the Saints, and we are a 6-6 tie with Michaelin Almberg set to serve. That serve nicely read by Mackenzie Seitz in the back row for Pierce. Serve a little bit too long. Side out point for the Raiders as Malia Tucker gets set to serve. 7-6 the score. Pierce on top by 1. There's the serve played by Spears. Back set, looking for Pernich. Blocked out of bounds. Side out point for Mount Hood. Hannah Spears, your next server. Tied at 7. There's the set looking for they're looking for Burkhart. Burkhart gets it down, bounces all the way out of bounds, and that's going to be a point for Pierce and an 8-7 lead. Carly Sunt in the game now, set to serve for the Raiders. She goes right side. Left side attack from Mount Hood. Picked up by Seitz. Pernich puts it down, and Pierce unable to handle that. Side out point, Mount Hood, and we're again tied, this time at 8. Madison Pernich set to serve. Madison, the offensive player of the week for the NWAC, going back to week 1. Quick set. Sonato with the tip. Actually, check out Burkhart with the tip. Now we get a defensive substitution for Pierce. Julia Hieronyma in the game. Pierce with a 1-point lead, 9-8. Riley Burdick with the serve. Played out of the back row by Spears. They go left side, looking for Huntington off the antenna, however. And that'll be another point for the Raiders. 10-8 is the score. If Pierce holds on and wins this set, we'll go to a 5th set in the first match. Played out of the back row that time by Almberg. Left side attack, Huntington, picked up by Pierce. They go the set that time for Burkhart. Burkhart with the kill off of the Mount Hood block. 3-point. Pierce lead at 11-8. Momentum shifting Pierce's direction. Left side attack for Huntington. Huntington blocked by Burkhart. Free ball. driven out of bounds. Pierce keeps it alive. Burkhart with the tip. Looking for Huntington again. That kill coming off of Burkhart stays in bounds, and we're going to have a side out point for Mount Hood. 11-9 the score. Kamiley Lebanon back in the game for Mount Hood. Elisha Lavasa the server. Right side attack. Blocked out of bounds by Mount Hood. Side out point for Pierce as Malia Tucker enters the game defensively for the Raiders. Kenzie Sight set to serve. 12-9 is the score. Pierce on top here in set number 4. Both teams battling at the net now. Finally driven into the backcourt and dropped. That'll be a point for the Raiders. 13-9 the lead. Nobody wanting to give up here in the first match of the tournament. Left side attack blocked by Tucker, but straight to the ground. That's going to be a point for the Saints. Side out point Mount Hood. Ashlyn Huntington, that power hitter, now serving for Mount Hood. Huntington 25 aces on the year. Mount Hood with another point. The Pierce lead just 2 at 13-11. Just over halfway done here in set number 4. Huntington with a serve in the net. Side out point going to Pierce. 14-11 the score. Allie Bauer now back to serve for the Raiders. Mount Hood's defense, tough all match long. They're set. Played out of the back row by Huntington. There goes left side attack. Martin with the attack. Pierce picks it up. They stay left side as well. That attack by Hannah Spears out of bounds, and that'll be a point for the Raiders, 15-11, and we're going to have a timeout on the floor. Fans prepare for an inspired future at Lynn Benton Community College in Albany, Oregon. You get personalized support, small classes, and you save money. Train for a job, get your bachelor's degree started, or check out the degree partnership program with OSU. LBCC Inspired. And be sure you check out the NWAC on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all the latest NWAC news. Also visit NWACsports.org for the most recent information on schedules, scores, stats, and more. Coming out of the timeout on the floor, Pierce on top of Mount Hood, 15-11. In set number 4, Mount Hood with the 2-1 set advantage. Allie Bauer set to serve. Again, looking for the first team to hit 25. The winner of this match will play at 10 a.m. tomorrow against the winner of the Edmonds Walla Walla match. We'll find out who that is for you as soon as we can. There's the serve from Bauer, picked up by Spears. Played by Shelby Martin. Pierce keeps it alive. Left side attack by the Saints. Blocked by Pierce, and we're going to have a net violation. A net violation by Pierce, and that's going to be a side-out point for Mount Hood. So we just got word Walla Walla, the winner of the match on court number 2, 3-0. The winner of this match will face Walla Walla tomorrow at 10 a.m. Rally going on. Bregno, left side attack for Spears. Played by Pierce. They go right side. Picked up out of the back row. That one stays in somehow. Madison Pernich with the point off the back line. And that's going to be another point for Mount Hood. The lead now 2 at 15-13. Pregno with the serve. Picked up by the Pierce defense. That one on the ground. Julia Hieronima with the kill, and she heads to the sideline. Substitution Pierce. Katie Lynn Piles back in the match to serve. It is a 3-point Pierce lead, 16-13 in the race to 25. Piles picked up by Spears. Right side attack. There's the kill from Kamaili Lebanon. Side out point Mount Hood, 16-14 the score. Michaela Almberg back in the game for Mount Hood, and she is set to serve. Her serve picked up by Seitz. Tucker looking for Burdick. Tipped that time by Tucker. Side out point for Pierce, 17-14. Tucker serving. Pregno played to the net. Back set. Net violation on Pierce. Side out point, Mount Hood. 17-15. Pierce with the lead here in set 4. Hannah Spears, sophomore out of St. Helens, Oregon, serving for the Saints. Piles picks it up with the back row. Set to Sonato. Free ball. Play to the net. Somehow Sonato got it over. Looked like she changed her mind mid-flight on what she wanted to do with that one. Played out of the back row, blocked up front by Burkhart. Side out point, Pierce, 18-15 is the score. Substitution for the Raiders. Carly Sunt in the game. Carly Sunt now serving. She moves to the left side. Spears picks it up out of the back row. Left side attack. Blocked. Pregno. Back set. Lavasa sends it over. Here comes Pierce. Blocked out of bounds off of Lavasa. Point Raiders, and it is 19-15. 6 to go for Pierce. There's a set for Pernich, and that goes out of bounds off of Burdick. Side out point, Mount Hood. 19-16. Pernich serving. Pierce unable to handle that one at the net. Another point for Mount Hood. 2 points is the lead. 19-17. Pernich, played by Piles. There's the set looking for Burkhart. Burkhart buries it. Side out point, Pierce. 20-17. Julia Hieronima back in the game for the Raiders. As Riley Burdick, the freshman from Covington, gets set to serve. There's the set looking for Shelby Martin. Martin with the tip. Bauer sends it over. Left side attack. Huntington picked up by the Pierce back row. Likewise from Mount Hood. Quick set for Burdick, and Burdick on fire here in set number 4. Pierce with the point, 21-17 with the lead. Burdick, the team leader in kills for Pierce, 380 of them on the regular season. Pierce with 4 to go. Burdick tries to kill that one into the net, however. 4 hits, a no-no in volleyball, so that'll be a side-out point for Mount Hood as we get a defensive substitution for the Saints. The Saints trailing by 3. Lavasa with the serve. Blocked by Mount Hood. They try it again. Blocked again. Nice dig that time by Hannah Spears. They go left side with the attack. Blocked by Burkhart. Side out point for Pierce. As Tucker comes back in the game defensively for the Raiders, Kinsey Seitz, the 5'4" freshman from Warden, Montana, the libero, serves. Quick set. Shelby Martin with the kill. Side out point, Mount Hood. Ashlyn Huntington with her serve. Hieronyma with the kill, picked up defensively, but it goes out of bounds off of Elisha Lavasa, and that's going to be a point for Pierce. We're going to have a substitution for the Raiders as Mariah Sonata goes back in the game, a 4-point lead, 23-19, as we get a timeout on the floor.
First day of school is kind of scary. You don't know your teachers yet or who your friends will be. But school is really important. It's how you learn things and grow.
Okay, I'm ready.
You're gonna do great, Mommy.
For you. For them. Clark College. Get started today at clark.edu.
And welcome back to the Tacoma Convention Center, day number 1, the 2017 NWAC Volleyball Championship, set number 4. Pierce on top, 23-19. Picked up out of the back row by Mount Hood. They go right side with the attack, driven down by Kamaili Labanan. Side out point for Mount Hood, 23-20. Now the score in set number 4. Mount Hood with the 2-1 lead. McKinley Pregnell with the serve. Played out of the back row by Seitz. That kill coming from Mariah Sonato. Side out point Pierce, and it's going to be set point Raiders. Katie Lynn Piles in the match. Set point. Pierce wins this set. We'll go to a 5th set. There's the serve. Spears out of the back row. They go back set. Blocked by Tucker. Out of bounds. Point Raiders. And Pierce is going to win the 4th set. Final score, Raiders 25, Saints 20. A 5th set coming up.
This is Combine Training.
I will protect this house. I will protect this house.
I will.
Soldiers in the Guard's intelligence field gather information on the enemy using a variety of tactics. Scanning foreign communications, conducting interrogations, and debriefing friendly contacts, all while delivering and coordinating data to help allies on the battlefield or stop civil emergencies. The enemy can't hide from Guard intelligence.
I'm Danny Horton, and I'm an STCU member. The windstorm of 2015, who doesn't remember that? Had no power, were the heaters, the horse trough was a 600-pound block of ice. STCU stepped up. I went straight down. I got the loan I needed. If it hadn't been for STCU and the ability to provide everything I needed, where would I have been? I'm Danny Horton, and STCU is here for good.
LCC has definitely prepared me to transfer to Oregon State because it's helped me with my study skills. I'm a much harder worker than I was in high school.
I had a great support base by the staff, and I've made some great friends that I think I'll carry on with my life.
I've definitely loved my classes. I've learned a lot. It's been a healthy environment.
Don't be afraid to branch out. The people here are awesome. I'm going to be in it for a while, but down the road I'll be finishing up and be ready to join the workforce.
And we are back at the Tacoma Convention Center, day number 1, the 2017 NWAC Volleyball Championship Tournament, and what a match to get us started. The number 1 seed out of the West, the Pierce Raiders, and the number 4 seed out of the South, the Mount Hood Saints, tied at 2 sets apiece, rather. Pierce winning set number 1, 25-10, and set number 4, 25-20. Mount Hood picking up the 2 in the middle at 25-23 and 25-19. The winner of this 5th set will play Walla Walla tomorrow at 10 a.m. The loser plays this evening at 6:30 against Edmonds right here on court number 1. A big welcome to everybody watching, no matter where you are, at work, at home. Doesn't matter. Thanks for tuning in. The R2 getting the lineup set. Scoreboard still showing the 25-20 final from set number 4. This one's going to be a race to 15. Mount Hood coming into the tournament 2-8 out of their last 10, but finding some momentum here. One of the things we talked about during the pregame, the fact that these teams met once during the regular season. Mount Hood with the sweep. No sweep here today. And we are set to go. Set number 5. Riley Burdick with the serve. You always got to love a 5th set. Played out of the back row by Mount Hood. They go set right in the middle. Tips the net and drops. The first point of set number 5 goes to Mount Hood. Ashlyn Huntington now set to serve. We see a lot of the teams from our next matches filing in here. Tournament always a good time here in Tacoma. Well done by Pierce College as the host. Blocked out of bounds by Mount Hood. Side out point goes to Pierce. Malia Tucker in the game defensively. Kenzie Sight set to serve, tied at 1. That one played back in bounds by Lebanon. Right side attack, tip from Tucker. Finds Paycourt. Point Pierce. I don't know if Paycourt, I know Pay Dirt something. I don't know if Paycourt is, but if it wasn't before, it is now. Huntington plays out of the back row. There's the attack from Mount Hood, played out of bounds. Well played that time by Hannah Spears. Side out point for Mount Hood. We're tied at 2. McKinley Pregnall set to serve. They go looking for Tucker. Tucker drives it down. Smacked that one, and she knows it. Side out point, Pierce. Allie Bauer serving a 1-point Pierce lead, 3-2. Blocked by Tucker. Set back over by Sonato. Mount Hood unable to corral that one. Point Raiders 4-2. Again, the fifth set. Only to 15, not 25. Bauer serve into the net. Side out point Mount Hood 4-3. Neither of these teams one lets the other one get too far ahead. Stating the obvious there. Michaela Almberg serving for Mount Hood. Her serve to Seitz. Played by Burdick. Burdick to Hieronyma. Picked up by the Mount Hood defense. Back row hit, out of bounds. And we have a side out point for the Raiders. 5-3 the score. Caitlin Piles, the sophomore from Spanaway, returning to the game to serve for the Raiders. Back set for Mount Hood. There's the tip. Pierce plays it back over. Left side attack for Mount Hood. Picked up by the Pierce defense. There's a drive out of bounds off of the Saints player. And a 3-point lead now for Pierce, 6-3. Caitlin Piles jump serve. Played by Lavasa. Free ball from Pernich. That drive from Burdick out of bounds. Side out point for Mount Hood. Hannah Spears set to serve for the Saints. 6-4 the score. Pierce on top. Picked up out of the back row by Seitz. Sonato with the kill. Mariah Sonato, the 6'1" freshman. Pierce with some very strong-looking freshmen going into next year. Malia Tucker with the serve. There's the drive from Ashlyn Huntington. That one inbounds. That's going to be a side-out point for the Saints. Madison Pernich serving. 2-point advantage for Pierce, 7-5. That one played into the antenna. Point, Saints, 7-6. Many fans gathered around the stands at this one now, including the next combatants on this court. That one blocked, but it manages to go down on the right side of the net for Pierce, and they're going to pick up the side out point, 8-6. The teams trade sides after the 8th point in set number 5. We get a substitution for Pierce as Carly Sunt set to enter the game, and she will serve for the Raiders. There's her serve, picked up by Spears out of the back row. Shelby Martin with the attack. Played defensively by Pierce. Free ball, back over. Left side attack looking for Huntington, blocked. Driven back down by Mount Hood, played defensively by Pierce. They send it into the net, or short of the net rather, and that will be a side out point for Mount Hood. It's 8-7 as Elisha Lavasa gets set to serve for Mount Hood. Played by Seitz. Quick battle at the net. Drops on the Mount Hood side. Side out point Pierce. Julia Hieronyma back in the game defensively. Riley Burdick, one of the freshmen I spoke of for Pierce, set to serve. 2-point Raider lead, 9-7. Pregnall. There's the quick set. Pierce on defense. There's the attack left side. Driven into the net. That's going to be a point for Pierce. 10-7. 5 to go. Burdick serving. Played by Pregnall. Put back down by Burkhart. Pregnall's dig a little bit too far perfect for Hannah Burkhardt to put it back down, and it is a 4-point lead, 11-7 for Pierce. 4 to go, up by 4. Lebanon plays it. Pregnell, free ball over the net. Left side looking for Hieronyma. Hieronyma drives it off of Lebanon. 12-7. Timeout, Mount Hood.
As certified jumpers, divers, and survival experts, Special Forces are dropped behind enemy lines to train foreign fighters, carry out covert missions, or prevent future conflicts. These soldiers live for the challenge, highly trained and highly intelligent. Special Forces soldiers are the best of the best.
And welcome back. Play already begun coming out of the timeout. That one played out of bounds. Long off a side out point for Mount Hood. 12-8 the score. Ashlyn Huntington now serving. They go left side looking for Hieronyma. Blocked by Lebanon. Point Saints, 12-9. Fired up here in Tacoma. Nice block by the Mount Hood defense. That drive goes into the net off of Burkhardt, and that's going to be another point for Mount Hood. It is 12-10. Now we're going to have a timeout on the floor, this time by Pierce. We'll be back right after these words from our NWAC sponsors.
Nestled within tall trees and beautiful buildings, Pierce College has established itself as a national leader in improving student success. With 2 main campuses in Puyallup and Fort Steilacoom, and satellite campuses on Joint Base Lewis-McChord, Pierce College strives to create quality educational opportunities to help students realize their possibilities. As we celebrate 50 years in the community, Pierce College is proud to offer more than 60 programs of study with a fit for you, your life, your schedule, and your dream. Find your path, start at Pierce College today, and realize your possibilities. Visit pierce.ctc.edu.
And welcome back to Tacoma. Back in action here, set number 5. Coming out of the timeout, Ashlyn Huntington set to serve for the Saints. 12-10 the lead by Pierce. Looking to race to 15 here in the 5th set. Seitz goes left side looking for Hieronyma. Hieronyma with the attack. Pregnell bows back row for Huntington. Picked up by Seitz. Again for Hieronyma. Blocked that time by Lebanon. Another fantastic, huge block. And the lead is now just 1 for Pierce. Another momentum shift. Huntington with the serve. Bauer for Sonato. Picked up by Lavasa. That attack from Lebanon in the net. 13-11. On the line, a trip to the second match tomorrow at 10 a.m. as opposed to the losers bracket tonight at 6:30. That attack out of bounds. We are at match point. 14-11 the score. Kenzie Seitz with the serve. Tips the top of the net. Out of bounds. Kept alive by Mount Hood. There's the free ball. Seitz goes quick set, back set, looking for, Malia Tucker, and that goes out of bounds. Tucker thought she had it. Side out point Mount Hood, 14-12. McKinley Pregnall, freshman from Nevada, jump serve. Left side attack, Hieronyma, that one's down. Pierce is going to win the 5th set. Final score, Raiders 15, Mount Hood Saints 12. And that will advance the Pierce Raiders to face the number 3 seed out of the East, the Walla Walla Warriors, tomorrow at 10 a.m. right here on court number 1. Mount Hood will face the number 2 seed out of the North, the Edmonds Tritons, this evening at 6:30 in an elimination game, best 2 out of 3. Once again, your final here from court number 1 in the opening match. Raiders over the Mount Hood Saints, a final 3-2. Your next match coming up at 11:30, the Chemeketa Storm and the Centralia Trailblazers. Thanks for watching, and we'll actually, before we do that, we're going to talk to one of the key players. I forgot about this portion. Always one of my favorite. We're going to talk to one of the key players for the Pierce Raiders. The first one we're going to talk to is Hannah Burkhart. The second one is Julia Hieronyma. They look to put on the headphones, and they're going to there we go, getting the communication out of the way so we can get the right player on the headphones. And there we go, we have Hannah Burkhart. Can you hear me, Hannah?
Yes, I can hear you.
What an opening match.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I tell you what, you guys handled that first set pretty sharp, 25-10, and then what were you thinking as Mount Hood came back to take the next 2 sets?
I just know that every game we come in, every team's going to want this game. Every team's going to want to win. Every team's going to want to persevere and take that game. But we came together as a family, and we always say 1 point at a time. Don't let the ball drop. Talk to each other, and it's for each other. The game is for us. So we made sure that we really went out and came through and finished that game.
One of the things that we noticed looking at the roster and the stats you guys put together, so many players with over 100 kills this season, and that's something you don't see a lot of. How much emphasis does Greg Fennell put on the attack as opposed to defense? Is that balanced, or are you guys more of what you would consider an attack team?
Oh, we are definitely an attack team. We want to hit that ball on the 10-foot line every time. Front row is our goal is to smack that ball and make sure it gets to the ground. We don't give up until our arms are falling off. So we are always swinging at the ball. That game was a little tough. They got some blocks on us, so we had to switch it up, something out of our comfort zone. But we were able to finish that game with our swings. So I was really happy with that.
Well, Hannah, congratulations on your first round match, and look forward to seeing you guys versus Walla Walla tomorrow at 10.
Thank you so much.
All right, now we're going to talk to Julia Hieronyma. Julia, what a fantastic opening match. You guys took it to 5 sets. You were able to pull it out on that 5th set. What are you guys looking forward to now as you know you're going to face the Walla Walla Warriors tomorrow at 10 a.m.?
Well, our goal was to, we've been making goals like this whole season, and we met our goal today. Like, the first goal was to win the West, and we did that. The second one was to make it to the NWACs, and the third one was to make it to the second day, so we won that. And, yeah.
Now, one of the things I want to ask was specifically, especially your team, you look at the freshmen that you have, Sonato, Burkhart, yourself, Kenzie Seitz, so many talented freshmen on this team.
Yeah.
What was it like in the beginning of the season as you guys started to play? I mean, you guys are really gelling right now. What's that team camaraderie like?
Well, our secret is kind of we all were on the same club team. So we've been playing for the past year straight. So we kind of just brought that into this season. So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it certainly shows you guys put on a heck of a performance here in the opening matchup in the 3-2 win over the Mount Hood Saints. Good luck tomorrow against the Walla Walla Warriors.
Yes, thank you.
And go enjoy this win.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, that's going to recap it. The Pierce Raiders on top of the Mount Hood Saints. A final score, 3-2. Your next match coming up, Chemeketa versus Centralia at 11:30. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for our second match.